Hey guys, I just wanted to review some of the stuff that you saw in other videos and read about and did some problems on. So first thing is charging by friction. Charging by friction is a case where you take like wool and you rub it on a piece of plastic like the Bruce Yaney did in the videos, and that causes one of the materials to grab electrons off of the other one. So the one that grabbed the electrons becomes negative, and the one that lost the electrons becomes positive. So in order to understand which one becomes negative and which one becomes positive, you need this triboelectric or triboelectric, depending upon how you pronounce it, series here. So sometimes you'll see this chart flipped. I sort of have it highlighted. Let me get my laser pointer out here. Sometimes you'll see this chart flipped or written sideways. It doesn't really matter. They'll always have it labeled. Down here where it says negative, these guys are more likely to grab an electron. And up here where these say positive, these guys are more likely to lose the electron. So, for example, if you took wool right here and rubbed it on vinyl, which is what like a record is made out of right here, the vinyl is further down here towards the negative side, so it will grab the electron off of the wool, making the vinyl negative and the wool positive there. However, it doesn't always have to be that way. If, for example, you rubbed wool on glass, then the wool is further down the series, so the wool would become negative by grabbing electrons, and the glass would become positive there. So you might notice this actually if you pull like a sweater, which is made out of cotton, off of your human body, especially hoodies seem to do this. If you pull it off like in the dark of your room, sometimes you'll see little sparks there, and that is actually the wool or the cotton grabbing the electrons off of your body there. So another thing I want to talk about is the difference between conductors and insulators. You've studied that all the way back in middle school, but let's say you have this negatively charged rod and you touch this metal sphere with it. At first, these electrons are going to jump off onto this metal sphere here. They all repel each other because likes repel. Now, because the sphere is metal, they are able to jump from atom to atom to atom. They're not bound to a particular atom. That's what makes them conductors. So any charge put on the sphere will eventually spread over the entirety of the sphere. They will go out even actually onto the outside surface to get as far away from each other as they possibly can. So lots of times you'll see in pictures throughout this unit of something metal, like here, some pop cans, placed on something that is an insulator, like a styrofoam cup. And the reason you would do that is you'll keep all the electrons flowing around in the metal cans, and you won't let them be able to leave and go down into the ground through these insulating cups. So maybe you make your stand out of wood or rubber or styrofoam or something like that. Air also, by the way, is a very good insulator under most circumstances. So who's a good conductor and who's not? Well, the metals, which is the vast majority of elements, are all good conductors. That's one of the things that defines them as metals. Here you can see copper is one of the better ones. Silver is even better, but it's really expensive. And as we go down here, here are the semiconductors. These are useful as gates, basically, of electricity in computers. And over here we have the insulators, so rubber, glass, wood, dry air. All of these are really good insulators in that case. So one more quick example of this is, let's say the sphere A represents a balloon, and you rub the balloon on your hair. And let's say the balloon has a higher electron affinity. It's further towards the negative side of the chart. Well, it is going to pick up electrons, but once it does, they can't move off of this area. They're stuck right there. They can't spread because rubber is an insulator, and it won't allow the electrons to spread around. Whereas this one, let's say this is a metal sphere. Once again, if any electrons are put on here, they will spread throughout the entire surface. So just by looking at these two, you can tell that this one must be an insulator because the charge is clumped. It won't let the charge move around. And this one, sphere B, must be a conductor because it let the charge move around. That is it. I'll see you with the next video.